This is Europe Remembers on Tour from Tuscany. And I'm now standing in front of the city walls of Lucca. During this episode, we're going to explore the so-called Gothic Line, the final stronghold for the German troops in northern Italy. Here, the Allied troops fought together with Italian partisans to break the line in April 1945. On our way to Lucca, we visited the American War Cemetery in Florence. This beautiful American War Cemetery that is framed by the hills of Tuscany commemorates over 4,000 American servicemen that were killed in the northern part of Italy. On this map you can clearly see the Gothic Line. It was the last German defense line in northern Italy. It consisted of bunkers, machine gun nests, barbed wire and minefields. And now we're going to explore this area with guide Carlo Pudu.
We are inside one of the many bunkers of the Gothic Line, the west side of the Gothic Line, which was a long defensive line, 320 kilometers long from east to the west. And it was built by the Nazis to try to stop, or at least to slow down the Allies while they were coming from the south. And here we are 20 kilometers from Lucca, so when the Allies, the Americans first Allies, arrived to Lucca, the Nazis retreated here because it was safer for them to stay behind the trenches and the fortification and the bunkers of the Gothic Line. And as a director of the Liberation Route, is for me so important to keep this story, history alive, to disseminate all these old story, but so important to tell to the next generation. And everything here is intact. This bunker was a storage. Even today you can still see munition boxes, hammers, barbed wire, relics of that time. A couple of things more I want to show you related to World War II. The tank wall, because not many tank walls are left here on the Gothic Line. This is a 50 meters long, made by concrete. And then the bridge, because it was very important during World War II and for the liberation.
Carlo, we visited the bunkers around the Gothic Line and we're now standing on a really high bridge. It's called Devil's Bridge. Why this name?
According to the legend, it was built by Lucifer himself during a long stormy night, and it's a beautiful, one of the most beautiful bridges in Italy. It wasn't destroyed during World War II because the Nazis considered this bridge too narrow for tanks. But we have photos of the Allies crossing the bridge, in particular the Brazilians and the Americans, with their jeeps.
Oh, so let's cross this bridge.
Won't you please say hello to the folks that we know? Tell them I won't be long. She won't be long. They'll be happy to know that if you saw me go, I was singing this song.
We are just in front of this monument, in front of the wall of Lucca, because unfortunately, being Lucca, the closest town to the front line, that was the Gothic Line, the last line of resistance that the Nazis had, unfortunately, who pay the bill was the local population, and in this case, a different kind of resistance. The priest, that they try to help not just the local, but many others, and they did also an incredible resistance helping the Jewish. Doing this thing, Donaldo May, that was a priest, few days before the Nazis retired on the wall, he was killed because he was trying to help a Jewish. And the town, in any case, was safe, was never bombed, is still untouched. And just walking in the town, it's possible to appreciate this.
This is the gate where the Buffalo soldiers entered Lucca for the liberation. This is a really historic location.
Yes, it is, because this is the oldest gate of Lucca, St. Peter's Gate, and the Buffalo soldiers, the black soldiers, that they participate to the war in this area of Tuscany, they came from the area of Pisa, crossing the countryside, and they kept in touch with the town from this point. And they were pretty scared about the snipers, but luckily the town was already free from the Nazis, and immediately all the people celebrate that moment, giving the best welcome to these soldiers.
Let's go explore Lucca.
Singing this song 'cause I know we'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drop, the dark clouds far away.
This was Europe Remembers on tour in Italy. The retreating Germans in this area committed terrible massacres against the civilians. On 12 August 1944, German troops, assisted by Italian fascists, killed more than 500 women, children and old people in this village to punish the civilian population for supporting the resistance. And to conclude this episode, we will speak to Adela, an eyewitness of the massacre of Sant'Anna.
Io mi chiamo Bardini Adele, sono nata il 12 settembre del 40, eravamo una famiglia felice, la mia mamma aveva 36 anni e aveva 9 figli. Mio babbo, eravamo contadini, ha portato via i 2 maschi e 2 femmine a questo, che eravamo contadini, a questo cacciadiavoli, e noi siamo rimasti a casa con tanti sfollati. Io stavo facendo colazione quando sono arrivati i tedeschi. Mi hanno fatto posare la tazza su una cassapanca che era fuori in quest'aia, eravamo tutti lì in questa piazza, 5 sorelle e la mamma, che c'era la sorella, la sorellina Anna che aveva 20 giorni. Ci hanno portato a questo muro, ci hanno sfilato come altezza. La mia mamma e un'altra mamma hanno chiesto pietà per questi bimbi che avevano in braccio. Questo tedesco si è tolto la pistola dal fodero e ha ammazzato la mia mamma e quest'altra mamma col suo bimbo. Poi hanno messo la mitragliatrice, ma altri sparavano, che erano su per una scalinata, sparavano. Quello me l'ha detto la mia sorella di 18 anni, perché io mi ricordo soltanto la mitragliatrice davanti a noi. Nel cascare la mia mamma si è aperta una porta dietro di noi. Ero intera, quella di 18 anni, dice, t'ho preso per un braccio e t'ho stracinato dentro questo fondo. Dentro questo fondo siamo rimasti infine che lei non ha visto che non c'era più tanto movimento, perché dopo hanno dato fuoco alle case, è toccato scappare. Io ho attraversato la mia mamma, gli dico francamente, ripensando oggi non so come ho fatto, perché non ce la facevo, mi è toccato passare sopra la mia mamma. A giovani oggi che siano molto attenti a questo mondo, perché non è bello questo mondo, e fa piacere che portano avanti questa memoria, e li ringrazio.